Thank you everyone for joining us. My name is Jennifer McConnell. I am from Living Legacy and I'm running Living Legacy Conversations to meet with fantastic people who have inspired me to want to live a better life, but also to get my plans in place. So we've had 3 fantastic interviews already with Jodie Wellman from 4000 Mondays, Kate Huffnagel from The Digital Wrangler, and Sarah Reynolds from Organised Chaos. So today I am delighted to be joined by Ross Steele from Omega. So Ross, thank you so much for joining us today.
No problem, my pleasure.
So you are in Magherafelt Derry, so thank you for calling in from so far away.
It's only we jumped up the road from Dublin, don't worry.
I suppose just to get started, can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
I can indeed.
So I am a personal trainer and mindset.
Well, Magherafelt here. I have been self-employed with my Omega Fitness business for 7 years, going on 8 years this October. And initially, I worked in the local leisure centre and decided then, after building up my my qualifications, different coaching badges in different parts of the fitness industry, I decided it was time then to step out and take the step and go fully self-employed and put everything I had into my business, that's which I currently have here at my home, which is a small semi-private studio where I do a mixture of group training programs and sessions, alongside one-to-one coaching with a various range of different clients. So people who are junior athletes in golf, athletics and swimming, and then our general daily athletes, as I call them, people who want to be stronger, healthier, happier, fitter. And also I'm a mobility specialist as well. So I specialize in certain types of mobility training to improve joint health and joint resilience and just generally help people move better for longer, which empowers them to thrive in life and do what they love to do for longer.
And I think definitely you and I had met through Dynamite Lifestyle's Ignite program, but
really stood out with you was just you've got a fantastic range of videos that you do on Instagram. And I think fair play, if you weren't doing fitness, I would say you should get into video editing or social media, because I think you've done phenomenal with it. I think for me, so I come from very much the mindset of could not be bothered when it comes to fitness, or must get around to it one day, and it'll be fits and starts. But then about 8 years ago, I had an accident and broke my back, and if anything, it was interesting because I was quite fit at the time. I had been doing a 100-day challenge prior to that, so I had been going to the gym quite regularly, doing a lot of things to be healthy and well. And so obviously when I had the accident, actually I was probably at my healthiest, so it was probably helped in my recovery. But I was very cautious about doing any exercise because I didn't want to make the injury worse. Now, realistically, the injury itself healed as much as it was going to within 6 months. But I also used it as an excuse to not do any fitness. And I remember the physio saying to me quite early on, she said, look, you're never going to be able to go jogging. I went, great. If I've been medically advised not to do this, I'm fine. But what I did find, though, was that it was actually more my mindset that stopped me doing anything further, because it was that fear of, oh, this could get worse, or I could fall again, or something. So how do you deal with people that are coming to you, say, with mobility issues?
People have that fear factor with injuries. So it definitely is, you have to take the holistic approach to injury rehab and even prehab as well. So because of that mental mindset side to it, it does maybe prevent people from taking the actions and stepping out and doing the movement in fear of more injury. But certainly the body responds to load in any type of injury. There is periods of time where you need to rest and let the body recover to reduce inflammation, etc. But certainly when it comes to really getting the body moving again and getting stronger, there is that time we have to step out and then undergo gradual load to really strengthen the body in the positions that it was actually injured in as well. So whether that be a spinal injury, a hip injury, or shoulder injury as well, it's addressing that sensation of there might be fear with the movement, gradually one step at a time, but you have to take that holistic approach of mind and body as well. So it's really conjoining the two to help the patient and put the patient into, or the client, into the best ecosystem for their gradual progression. And the minute the minute the client sees that they can do the movement that they've almost been fearful of, it just gives them that little bit of confidence and that little bit of a taster that, you know what, it's okay to move into that position. And whenever you move into that position and you start to load that position, that's whenever the client really gains the progress and the long-term growth back to where they were, but not just back to where they were pre-injury. You want to push past that ceiling and get to a level of strength, mobility, fitness, and health that they never had before.
I've done so much work over the last year in terms of decluttering, getting my, end of life plans in place, really taking stock of my life, that I now know that the next thing for me really that I do want to achieve is fitness. And it's actually getting my body fit, but also toned. And, just being mindful of, like I'm 49, so moving into menopause, how to actually ensure that I'm preparing for that, but that I'm not going to be walloped by the change. And I mean, I've no idea how I'm going to react. But I think also using, like, it's so easy to use the crutch of, oh, I can't because, and even I know there's an app called Curable, which actually helps you address that constant mindset of chronic pain, that actually what you feed grows, and I know, Kim Calvert always says that to us, is what you feed grows. But it is that element of that, if you keep saying, I can't, then you will never feel that you can. So even in terms of realizing actually the biggest barrier to your progress is yourself.
Absolutely. Yeah. Through the mindset development of my own journey, I started off with Bob Proctor, and then that led me to Kim Calvert of Dynamite Lifestyle, who I now work with as a Dynamite delegate. And my take on health and fitness now is both mind and body. So my mission is to help people thrive both in mind and body, which in turn will help them become healthier, happier, fitter, stronger, and create a life by their design. And you're hitting the nail on the head there with the body is an instrument of the mind. So if we feed our body with a negative energy, whether it be around an injury of some description or maybe something that somebody has told us that we can't do in fitness or outside of fitness, if we go down that route and feed that narrative with our energy in a negative sense, our body will then go and take that action or lack of action. So it's really the narrative that we play within the mind first and foremost. Our thoughts that really create our things that we see in our physical expression. So that's why, with going back to injury rehab, it's so important why we must have that positive thought process over and over and over with repetition, which then will feed into the body and give the body a more positive energy and therefore a more positive ecosystem for recovery.
There's been a shift probably in the last 15, 20 years in much more about actually using, as you say, like the body is an, or is it the body is an instrument of the mind, or the mind is an instrument of the body, but it's that level of ensuring that actually approaching it negatively to try and actually undermine somebody isn't going to motivate them to want to continue. Whereas when people see positive progress, then they will actually move forward and go, actually, I now see some slight progress, and now I want to do more. And I think it's great to see that, because so many more people now are engaged in fitness and wellness, much more than they probably were 20 years ago.
Massively. So even the sheer difference in the past 14, 15 years since I was going through sort of university and even school. So let's say 20 years ago, when I was in secondary school, the exposure given to like gym training and cardiovascular training now in comparison to whenever I was there, and the resources available is hugely different in a good way now, which is great to see. And you do see a lot more younger people going to the gym, not just the ones who are involved in sports, but the ones who know the benefits that they get from being healthier, stronger, and looking after their body. But not just the body, also the mind aspect. And even if they're not consciously going after the mind gains, when you move your body, it will automatically have that knock-on effect to your mindset and put you into a better energy to go about your day and just feel better in general, if that's what you're looking for. Better confidence, better clarity. So the body is an instrument of the mind, but also the mind does impact the body when you move it. Prime example would be like anybody who works in an office or as a desk jockey, as I call them, from 9 to 5. if they are feeling pretty crap sitting at the desk and they're maybe struggling to make a breakthrough with their work, the first thing they can do is get up, get away from that desk and get out for a 5 or 10 minute walk in nature, take a bit of breathing time and breathing space, move their body, and then that will start to cycle the better energy throughout the body, which then in turn will have that knock-on feedback system to better thoughts in the mindset. And
what do you think is the reason why fitness seems to be the one that people struggle with the most? In my opinion,
it's all individual to the person, definitely, from what their experiences have been. And if people tend to struggle with fitness or maybe going to the gym, then that is when you have to get a deeper inside look into the mindset. So what is their consistent thoughts? When you look at their subconscious mind, the deeper stuff, you have to look at what is their conditioned ways of living been, what is their habits been previously, what is their beliefs about themselves as well. So what do they really believe that they can achieve? Because we see it a lot of the time in January time. So the New Year's resolutioners come out in force. First 3-4 weeks in the gyms, the place is packed. But maybe 2 to 3 months down the line, if you go into the gym, you'll always see the same faces that are there consistently. So that's an internal programming thing, that if somebody has previously struggled for years with fitness and keeping consistency, keeping on hammering on the actual doing and the physical doing of the thing is only part of the game. We need to get into that person's subconscious mind with their consistent thoughts and start to really reprogram their habitual ways and behaviors, and most likely their belief systems, and get them really connecting to why do they want to improve their quality of life. And when you get to that why, that's the part where they really build that emotional connection to why they want to move forward. And if you get somebody to ask themselves why 5 times or even 7 times, they'll get to pretty damn emotional connection. It could be family, it could be anything that really drives them to take the actions.
Shift
people's approach to their fitness and their wellness. One is accountability.
So like personal, you've got
training.
one where somebody is relying on you to turn up or is coming to your house to meet with you, that there is somebody that you are answerable to for your fitness. Whereas if you're left to it yourself, sometimes you can go, yeah, I'll go back and I'll watch that video, or yeah, I'll do the exercise later. And obviously it's that building that habit of getting up and, you know, finding that right time for you in the day that, you know, that you will always do that. But the other thing I feel that, having looked at other people and in terms of their shift in how they approach fitness, is community.
Mm-hmm.
So I think definitely in like people my age, so, you know, you're talking kind of middle age, there seem to have been over the last 20 years, like the turn of age of men in lycra, and also the, you know, a lot of women going sea swimming.
Mm-hmm.
And an element of like, they find
real inspiration, they get
adrenaline, they get that real motivation. But actually a lot of it is down to the community that they're with as well, is they now have that sense of belonging and purpose because they're all in it together as such.
Absolutely. It's a massive part of health and fitness is the social aspect. And again, the community. And it's that support of showing up at a certain time. If you're doing in-person training, that is, it's that support and accountability of, you have, say, 3 sessions a week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. You show up and you're accountable not just to the coach, but also your friends within the group as well. And when you sort of sit back and watch maybe a group of 6 or 8 lads or females chatting about the weekend before that they had, and the connections and the friendships that grow, there's something massively special about that. And it's not just in person as well. When you have a community and a platform that does the same thing, that really builds connections all around the world, that energy and that connection, that strength is still the same, because you have that energy between the people. And it's the people that really do make any type of gym. The people really create the energy, an ecosystem within a gym. And if you have somebody who is maybe training online, to keep that accountability and consistency, it's really first of all, what agreements and what standards are they keeping for themselves? And if you find that if they're maybe struggling a little bit to keep accountability with online training, you have to go back to their why. So what is their outcome? But more importantly, why is it that they want to achieve what their goal is? And when they have that why at the forefront of their mind, if they have a hard day at the office from 9 to 5 and they're supposed to go to the gym by themselves to carry out online training, say at 7 o'clock, that little emotional trigger of, you know what, I'm going to get off the sofa because I remembered my why, that's going to help to really pull them forward towards their goal instead of trying to drive them and kick their ass off the sofa. So the emotional connection to a why is massively important.
I think it's also that thing of like, you know, you and I have both been involved with Dynamite Lifestyle, and obviously you're now a delegate within their programs. That like for me, it was that element of you get what you give. So as the more that you actually contribute, the more that you actually get involved. And like there were so many different daily practices, weekly practices, monthly masterminds, and it was phenomenal. And like I got so much from it, and I know so many people have as well worldwide, that I think it's that level of that showing up and building that consistency also means that it's actually very motivating for yourself to know that you can do it. And I know I took part in one of your, now I say I took part loosely in one of your online programs, and it was a phenomenal program, but it was just that level of me going, yeah, I'll tap into it, or I'll do it. But like, I have to say the quality of the training that you gave in those videos was phenomenal, because it was so considerate about, okay, the different things that you need to do, but also how to make it easier. Not everybody has the same mobility. And I think that's definitely where your expertise in dealing with people with mobility issues really shines, is because you're coming from such a vast array of experience with people of all abilities. And I think as well, when you were doing those weekly check-in calls, like that's the way to ensure, well, if you're having an issue with it, that's where you can actually ask you, well, what's the issue? How do I deal with this? But it very much is that you are accountable yourself, because you're signing up to this program, but actually you're signing up to it because there's a reason. As you say, they're your whys. So if you don't take part, then actually you're not doing yourself a service. And I know that for myself was that level of kind of taking it for granted because it was online that I would tap back into it, but actually I lost it in the end. And yet I know other people that took part in it just really, like, as you say, really kind of thrive by actually contributing to it. So it is something that I know myself I'm determined to now commit to, is that there's nothing stopping me but myself. But actually, if I don't do it, the one that loses out is me. So can you talk through some of the programs that you currently have on offer? I know you have one that we'll touch on that you're going to be launching soon, but what are the current things that you do have available?
Group training sessions and one-to-one training sessions at the minute. And those one-to-ones do vary between, again, the general daily athletes, as I call them, and people of all ranges of ages. So I have junior athletes who are 14, 15, 16, competing throughout summer in golf, athletics, and also swimming as well, right up to people of sort of late 50s, early 60s who just want to move better. Services around those are all strength and conditioning based, with, of course, mindset as well, because mindset is 95% of the success. The other 5% is the actual strategy and the doing of the thing. If the mind isn't aligned with what it wants to achieve, the benefit you'll get from the physical doing will be limited. And if your beliefs, if your attitude isn't in alignment with what you achieve, the results will be straight away. So the mindset is the key to long-term results. And I try to blend as much of that in with my clients as possible. Mobility clients, they're one-to-one and also online. So I offer 6 and 12-week mobility services online programs, depending on what the person is dealing with. The first step with mobility or injury prehab and rehab is always the assessment protocol, to run through what exactly they're feeling and how they're moving. And ultimately then that will pave the way of what we need to do to get them moving better. And also to outline what their goals are and what their internal narrative is around their injury. So is that more of a positive charge, or is it more of a negative charge, like we spoke of earlier on? And online services as well. That includes challenges, group programs, and also one-to-one coaching as well, which that is in a little bit of a transitional period at the minute because I'm currently building something exciting in the background, which will be launched on the 1st of September, which I'm really excited about.
What are the steps that people can take just to get started? Like, so first thing tomorrow, they go, right, I've listened to this, I'm inspired, I want to do something. What are the key things that you would recommend people just to get started with?
Yeah, first of all, if you take the two-pronged approach, so mind and body, first thing that you'll always go to with somebody with the mindset is gratitude. If you have a daily practice of gratitude writing, it will help you shift your energy levels and move you up the frequency, as we say, which basically is just putting you into a better feeling in a layman's terms. So it's going to help your feeling to level up. And before you go out into your day, which many people do, they go wake up, they go out, and if they haven't taken time to settle themselves and practice gratitude for what they currently have and give thanks for what they have, what we find is a lot of the people are in a reactionary state. So they're reacting to everything in life. The simplest thing can flip somebody into an angry state. Whereas when you practice gratitude every single day of the week, giving thanks for 10 things that you're really grateful for, it can be as simple as a cup of coffee in the morning time, or it can be your children, your partner, your family, your health and well-being, your ability to get out of bed pain-free, whatever it is. It could be the sunshine. Give gratitude for that in the morning time. That will make you then, or put you in a better position to go out and respond to life. And there's a big difference between reacting and responding. When you react in life to whatever the stimulus is, you give your power away. And when you respond, you keep your power, you become more calmer in mind, and that puts you into a better position then to deal with whatever you're dealing with in work, relationships, health and fitness, whatever that may be. So gratitude is always the first one. And that can be 10 things that you're grateful for in the here and the now. Personally, I write it. So I'll write it down because the power of the pen is when you're writing something down, you're really putting it in front of you. So you're not just writing it, but you're seeing it. And then you're backing that with the positive energy. And the key thing with your gratitude is to back it with emotion. So I could write now on this page, I am so happy and grateful for my health and fitness, and get up and leave the room and close the book. But if I haven't backed that writing with actually connecting and feeling that gratitude for my ability to step away from this desk pain-free and have my mobility and have my strength and fitness, it's the emotion and the feeling that is the key to anything. And when you really feel the gratitude, that opens you up then to receive more of what you're being grateful for. So if you're being grateful for the love you have in your life, you're actually putting yourself into a better position to receive more love, which is a fantastic part of it too.
What are the types of things you would recommend people do?
So it's all really dependent on their current level of movement, what their previous training history has been, or their training experience, as we say. So I always say to people, grab the low-hanging fruit, whatever that is for you. If that is as simple as a walk, a 30-minute walk, or even a 10-minute walk, depending on what your level is, start there and build yourself up. If it's depending, if you are really a beginner and you have no weight training experience or anything like that, start with walks, build up your intensity and the volume and the frequency, and then really start to increase your intensity. Don't be afraid of the gym if you're new to it as well. If you have to go and get an induction, let the person take you through the induction, because that's their job. They're there to show you and make you comfortable within the gym. So really the next step would be, after grabbing the low-hanging fruit, whether that's walking, swimming, cycling, my advice is get into weights and start small with that, and build up your intensity. To get into the weight side of things, you really want to focus on the bigger muscle groups that are going to give you the best bang for your buck, and also mobility training as well. So mobility that's going to improve your spinal mobility, your hip mobility, and shoulder mobility. And there's certain little resources on my Instagram for those as well, different drills. And if anybody wants any guidance on strength training, they can shoot me a DM as well on that note.
There was a few questions that I had for you.
Mm-hmm.
So what do you feel, even with all of your life, as you say, you're 34 now, is that what do you feel your legacy is to date?
My legacy to date, since I've been doing fitness, certainly has been, in my eyes.
What's your legacy yet to create?
My legacy yet to create is certainly building on that 95% of success. So with the mindset, and it's almost like a progression. So over those first 6 to 7 years, I've built the fitness side, but now I want to blend it into the mindset. So I'm really giving as many people as I can impact that full 100% that they need to create the quality of life that they want, and to really help them to, again, thrive in both mind and body, for them to go out and achieve the results, the goals, and the things that they want to achieve in life. Certainly my legacy moving forward is to do just that, is to help people more in the mindset side alongside the fitness. And the first number is to impact 1 million people.
Sign up to a mailing list or something now so that they're ready and they can hear as soon as it's launched.
Yeah, so I'm not going to give it away. My goal has always been to really have everything under one roof. So nutrition, training, mobility, and mindset, to really have one community in one house for everybody to come to help each other, have accountability, have support, and really empower themselves to, again, create that higher level of fitness and health. So that's what it's going to look like. I'll not give you any more than that. But there is a wee priority wait list on my my link tree, which you can access through my Instagram or Facebook in the bio, and you can sign up to that. And there will be a few details drip fed over the next couple of weeks, and that will be launched for the 1st of September.
Probably my biggest learning over recent years is the importance of mindset to both block you, but also to move you forward. And actually, really, if you want to do something and live the life that you wish and have the body and the fitness and everything that you wish, you have to obviously find the people that can help guide you in it. But then it's your commitment to it to really help see it through. And so as what you give, you will get back. But it's really about making sure that you're learning from the people that have done this before and that can really guide you through. So I'm looking forward to learning more from us. You're learning how to swim now.
Something that I have had as a goal of mine, personal goal, the past probably 4 to 5 years. But again, it really came to a point where I was just putting in action the material I learned from Kim Calvert and Dynamite Lifestyle. And as I grew in my own personal growth, it was a case of the paradigm, my old habits and beliefs were keeping me back. So it was a case of, let's put into action the material I'm learning, and let's just put the fear aside, because it only exists if you think it exists. And let's just jump head in, literally. And yeah, been 8 weeks, 9 weeks down now, and we're flying.
When you're teaching other people, as you're really living it, you know, you're leading by example by saying to people that it's never, you're never too old to start something new, but there's never too late a point of trying something new and maybe overcoming something that you felt was long past.
Definitely. And if there is anybody that's maybe thinking of putting something off, and they have been for years, whether it be in health and fitness, whether it be travel or anything, it's only the fear stopping you because you're putting the label of fear on it. Just literally put that aside and lean into when you and you break through the other side and you actually start to enjoy it. That's whenever you find that growth and that long-term growth.
Now, I would always say with Living Legacy, I'm not trying to get people to do their bucket list. Skydiving is a phenomenal experience, and I think you'll just be phenomenal for you. When I did it was for my 25th birthday, so nearly 25 years ago. And I did a tandem. So I was attached to somebody else. So I was very relaxed because it was somebody else was responsible for pulling the parachute, the whole lot. But I remember thinking, God, it's really interesting because I couldn't see me doing it as a solo jump. Even after doing it, I was just like, oh, I'm not really sure. I think I'd be too stressed. I wouldn't pull the parachute right or whatever. But I think that thing of actually just enjoying the experience, because you go, I may never do this again. And like it's just literally breathtaking, but also just get it videoed if you can. Get it videoed. It's definitely something well worth having as a memento. So now you've said skiing, skydiving, jet skiing. What's next?
Fourth one is
this is picking up something that I had done previously. So
a year and a half ago, I started to learn Italian, and I literally it took the back seat, and that's full ownership, full responsibility. It just other things took over, so that is on the list. And this fifth one might be a bit funky, but it's something that's been cropping up this past while in conversations. I'm not a big fish fan, and it really ties into where I want to travel to. But the fifth one is I want to try sushi. That's a simple one, but it's something that might just tip me over the edge.
Fair play. And I mean, for the fact that you've already just started swimming, like I would nearly say you could have put that in as one of your new things to try, but you're already started. So well done. Next ones then, what are the things you want to achieve?
So 5 things to achieve going forward this year. But certainly first one is
expansion of my business, and that ties into the
launch of my up and coming new thing.
Yeah.
So that's going to help me to again go forward with what my mission is, and impact as many people as I can, both in mind and body, to help them thrive and live a better quality of life. Not just in fitness, but also professional, personal, and help them achieve greater success. So that's the first thing, greater expansion. I'm also branching out into helping corporates as well within the mindset and the health and fitness side with a couple of my programs. So that's a new venture, part of my business as well. Which would be the second thing. The third thing is closer to my heart currently at the minute, which is helping athletes to really help them achieve what they want to achieve. And there's nothing better that really hits home and really I enjoy whenever I get a text from one of my athletes saying they won a tournament or they played a round of, whatever their life. Whenever I see my impact on them, both in mind and body, that's the psyche income. So certainly my next step is to break into the elite athletes industry with mindset on that front. And fourth one is, these are all quite professional based here. Fourth one is more public speaking events. So recently, about 2 months ago, I held my first in-person wellness event, which was called the Fitness Frequency. And that was all things nutrition, mindset, and training and recovery. And that's my next step, is to really achieve the next in speaking event, next Fitness Frequency Wellness event, but do it bigger, do it better, and have a greater impact and sell it out. So, and the fifth thing is my musical interest. So I play the saxophone, and so I really want to become proficient in that skill.
Then your 5 places to visit. Now these can be places you've already visited. So anywhere, what's on your go-to?
Okay, first one that came straight to the page was linked to the wedding I was just at in Barcelona 2 weeks ago. So one of my good friends who's away back to Australia, he's lived there for about 5 or 6 years, I think, and him and his wife came back to Barcelona for their wedding. So the first country on the list is Australia, to go out and visit them and see down under. Probably you could tie in with that New Zealand as well.
And the thing as well is, my gosh, if you want to go skydiving, jet skiing, and sushi,
all ties into the one.
And New Zealand as well. You can also go up to Japan.
Well, that's on the list. So Japan's number 2.
Nice.
Number 3 places to visit is, I've always had this in mind, is the Bahamas.
Okay.
And number 4 is Bali.
Ooh.
And number 5 is to see more of this fine country, Ireland.
Nice.
Definitely haven't seen enough of it.
Great plans. And the other thing you can always do is you can always do your next public speaking event in one of those destinations.
Absolutely.
I've been doing
For a long time, and Japan and New Zealand were my top two countries, and I'm blessed that I actually got to do both. But Japan, I went for 3.5 weeks in 2010 by myself, and it was the most amazing experience, and everybody was so welcoming and so kind, and I hadn't a clue of Japanese, and most people I dealt with didn't have any English, but people are so helpful, and you'll have a great time regardless, but definitely
that's sensational.
the backpacking is, it's well worth doing.
Sounds good to me. Definitely in the plans.
Yeah, nice. And so I think the thing as well is that, like, I mean, you've touched on a lot that, in terms of the fitness and the mindset, and then your own ambition as well, is to really, I suppose, showcase to people about, and pun intended with the skydiving, but the sky is the limit, really, and we hope it won't be the limit. But the thing as well is just, how do you incorporate, because you're obviously doing so much for other people and with other people, how do you incorporate a good fitness regime for yourself?
I think it starts off because you're not prioritizing yourself and your own energy, then don't expect to be able to show up and serve others. And it's that sort of saying that you can't pour from an empty cup. And unfortunately, you see it with a lot of the masses. The 97% is that they're running themselves into the ground, and no wonder people are getting frustrated, they're getting stressed, and their health then is suffering because of it. Illnesses, different things crop up. And if more people were just to really sit back and take more time for themselves, not in a selfish way, because it's helping them to serve others, then that's going to help them to really live a healthier life. So personally, what I do is I have a schedule. So I have my morning routine, which happens every single time, same day of the week, same time every single day of the week. And then I'll have my training routine. So in the morning time, my mindset routine is gratitude. I'll have a goal statement, which I'll write out, which helps me focus on what I want to achieve. And then I'll run through what we call a self-image script, which is really me linking to who I want to be in the achievement of my goal. And that's something, when you look at mindset, is you can't outperform your self-image. So if we want to achieve a goal, if we can't actually see ourselves as that higher person in that goal that we want to achieve, matching our attitude and our beliefs, we will have a real
hard time achieving that thing if we don't believe we can.
Think of our potential, what we think of ourselves, we must match that to the goals we want to achieve. And the self-image script is probably one of the biggest parts of my daily routine. And that would take, in my schedule, that would take probably about an hour to do those three things. Other than that, then, daily things that I implement for my own health and well-being is meditation. So I'll meditate once, twice a day sometimes. And the biggest tip I can say is do some form of visioneering or meditation before you go to sleep. Because when we sleep, our subconscious mind is wide open and it's working. People might think we sleep and we just knock off and that's it. When you're asleep, your subconscious mind is still working. And whatever you feed it, that 5, 10, 15 minutes before you go to bed, your subconscious mind will go to work on that while you're sleeping. So you ever hear the saying, don't go to bed on an argument? That's that example. Because if you go to bed in a negative energy, you're guaranteed to wake up in that same negative energy. And if you're going out into work, into daily life, and then you'll start to react to different things and your energy will be low. So certainly meditate or visualize your goals before going to sleep is a big tip. And on top of that then is really my training schedule. So I will personally train weights at the same time, usually every day, each day of the week, 4 sessions of weights and 2 cardiovascular sessions. And a couple of mobility drills added in there as well. So we've really got the mindset, the body, and the joint health as well.
So you're doing fitness every day, and I like, bearing in mind up to now, I would have clung on to every opportunity to go, okay, well, I'll do it one day, but I don't need to do it the next. And I know even do a hard workout, it could be 2 days before you actually feel any aches as such. Is there a way that it's better to kind of alternate what you do? So yes, do exercise every day, but maybe do like walking one day, weights another. Like, is there a routine that you would say works more efficiently for people?
Yeah, well, it all goes back to training experience as well, and how new somebody is to the stimulus. So, for example, somebody starting out just doing weight training, the first 2 to 3 weeks, if they're a real beginner, they will experience muscular soreness. So having that sort of say weights, for example, train weights on a Monday and a Wednesday and a Friday would probably be more beneficial for them, just to allow that little bit of recovery in between. So on a Tuesday and a Thursday, they could have that active recovery element where it could be a walk or a swim or something of lower intensity. And so personally, if you are then of a more longer training experience, your body is more adapted to take more consistent loads on a more frequent basis. So personally, I would train weights on a Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday. So I have those little recovery days still in between, but I have the 2 successive training days.
Okay. And do you set yourself kind of fitness goals?
Sorry?
Set yourself
Fitness.
Yes. So most of my goals would be around performance. And also then you've got body compositional goals as well. So, but usually performance based around numbers, around different lifts, and cardiovascular performance as well then.
Know that you've already gone through the programs that you do offer. So how can people actually find out more from you? So you did mention the link tree, but what are the, I suppose, ways that people can connect in with you?
So best way is usually Instagram. And at Instagram, my tagline is Rossi Omega. Obviously, we're on Instagram here at the minute. So you can easily click in and give me a follow, shoot me a DM, say hello. Even shoot me what your health and fitness goals are, and I'll be happily get back to you. And any guidance you need, give me a shout. Other than that, I'm on Facebook and LinkedIn as well.
I would encourage everybody to follow you on Instagram, because I think definitely like your videos are so creative, but there's also a lot of wisdom in there and how people can really start to incorporate the fitness and the mindset into, even if people are reluctant at exercising, but again, what you give in, you get back. So it's really now is the time to align the mindset and the fitness so that you can actually really see the benefits and feel the benefits sooner rather than later.
Absolutely. Again, this goes back to that saying 95% of success is mindset. If you do find yourself, as I say, going off and on the wagon consistently, or if you're pretty consistent, if you're involved in athletic performance, but you want to take that performance to the next level, it all comes back to what your internal conversations are. And really, if you can remember the word attitude, attitude is a combination of your thoughts, your feelings, and your actions, which then creates your results. And if you have a more aligned attitude with what you want to achieve, whatever your goals are, that allows you then to really create the habits and beliefs that will back you up. And it's whenever you create those habits and beliefs that will give you the long-term platform and foundation for long-term success.
So Ross, I do want to thank you so much for your time. And for anybody that's just tuned in now, this is Living Legacy Conversations. So you'll be able to watch the replay now in the next few days through our YouTube channel, which is at livinglegacy_IE. If you have any questions, you can DM me at livinglegacy.ie or email info@livinglegacy.ie. And please do connect in with Ross at Rossi Omega. But for now, Ross, thank you so much for your availability, for your time and for your wisdom. And best of luck with the continuation of the plans that you're going to be putting in place and launching for the 1st of September. So we look forward to following the journey and touching base with you in a year to find out if you fulfilled all of the 5s that you've claimed, and even 6 as well. So for now, Ross, thanks so much. And we look forward to connecting with you and taking part in the program that will soon launch.
Super jobs. Thank you very much, Jennifer, for having me. It's been an absolute pleasure. Cheers. Bye-bye.